Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Let's continue with the exercises of lesson number 10. In this lesson, we have learned about two very important concepts. One of them about al-masdar al-mu'awwal, which is a combination of harf an and the present tense, and the second one, kada wa akhawatuha. Both of these concepts, this is a brief lesson, but it consists of very important ideas. So we have completed the lesson and now we will do the exercises. So the first one, will someone be able to read it? We have two words that are similar, so how to read them? Is it possible for you to figure out which one is? Again, Irfan? Lima, excellent. So this is basically lima, and this is lam, excellent. Lam. So this is basically lima, it's a question word, so like why, and lam, we know that this is a harf jazm, which gives jazm to the ending of the verb. So it will be lima lam yahdur, and then when we connect it, it will be with kasra. Lima lam yahduril mudarrisu. Why didn't the teacher attend or come? Yes, do you remember?
المدرس مريضا.
Excellent. لأنه كان مريضا. Excellent. أو لم يحضر لأنه كان مريضا. Excellent. He didn't attend because he was sick. من الذي سمح للطلاب بالانصراف? So it will be بالانصراف. Who allowed the students to leave? Al-Muraqib, you know that Al-Muraqib, like every now and then he comes and then either he finds the students like, messing around in the classroom, or he comes with the news. So basically he was the one who came over there. So huwa al-Muraqibu, it was the controller, or he was the controller. Then we have kam kanat as-sa'atu indama kharaju min mabna al-mahdi. So what time was it when they left or when they went out of the building of the institute?
12:30 around.
Mabna al-Mahdi, yes. It was 12:30.
30, yes.
Okay. So كانت الساعة الثانية عشرة والنصف. All right. So كانت الساعة الثانية عشرة والنصف عندما خرجوا من المهدي. So it was 12:30 when they left the building of the institute. And as we know that this lesson is basically about the verbal sentence and the nominal sentence. So here we have the information over here now. Al-jumlatu imma ismiyatun wa imma fi'liyatun. Past sentence or the sentence is either nominal or verbal. Imma, if you remember the use of imma, and it's a combination of imma and imma, they always come together. So the sentence is either nominal or verbal. فَالْجُمْلَةُ الْإِسْمِيَّةُ, as for nominal sentence, هِيَ الَّتِي صَدْرُهَا, it is whose beginning is. So sadr, basically sadr, as we know, we have learned about it. The masdar, also the word masdar has come from it. Sadara yasturu and sadran. And you know that the word sadr is also used for chest in Arabic language. So something that is prominent, something that is, basically it means to proceed, then it also means like something that is prominent. So here allati sadruha, so here it means its beginning is. So we will refer it to the beginning. So for jumlatul ismiyatu, as for the nominal sentence, hiya allati sadruha, it is whose beginning is. So ha refers to the jumlatul ismiya. Ismun sarihun, so its beginning is either an original noun, a sarihun, the original noun, as we have discussed about it. Nahwu, for example, Allahu ghafurun. Allahu, so we will say that ismul jalala is ismun sarihun, that this is the original noun. It is not derived or it is not taken from any other verb or noun. So that's why we call it sarih by itself. So Allahu is mubtada and ghafurun is khabar. Hadihi madrasatun, again hadihi is mubtada and madrasatun is khabar. Ana mujtahidun, ana mubtada and mujtahidun is khabar. As we know that a nominal sentence consists of two parts, subject and predicate. Then, so we know that the subject can be ismun sarihun and also masdarun muawwalun, the interpreted masdar, nahwu, wa an tasumu khairul lakum. So, fa an tasumu taqdiruhu siyamukum. Your fasting is good for you. So, wa an tasumu is basically al masdaru al muawwalu, and its hidden meaning will be siyamukum. So this one is mahallan mubtada, or it's in the place of the mubtada, and khairun is khabar, and lakum is jar and majroor. Harfun mushabbahun bil fi'li, and similarly jumla ismiya can start with harfun mushabbah bil fi'l, which is basically inna wa khawatuha, and the other name for inna wa khawatuha is harfun mushabbahun bil fi'li. Yani it resembles the verb. Nahwu inna allaha ghafurur rahim. So basically, first we used to say that this is ismu inna and this is khabaru inna. Of course, this is ismu inna and khabaru inna. But in the broader perspective, we will say that this part is mubtada and this part is khabar. Al-ahrafu al-mushabbahatu. Ahrufu is the plural of harfun. Harfun has two plurals. Number one, hurufun, and number two, ahrufu. Al-ahrafu al-mushabbahatu. So here, harfun is singular. That's why here we have mushabbahun. And here al-ahrufu, it's a broken plural. That's why the adjective that we will use for it will be a singular feminine. So that's why here we have al-mushabbahatu. Whereas here we have mushabbahun. Mushabbahun means there's something that resembles. Al-ahraf al-mushabbahatu bil-fi'li hiya inna wa khawatuha. So basically these verbs or these letters or particles, they resemble fi'l and they are called inna wa khawatuha. Bil-fi'l, yani they resemble fi'l in a way that they give nasb to the mubtada, and then the khabar will be marfu. And also we know that the verb can also change the ending of the noun as well. So that's why we call them al-ahraf al-mushabbahatu bil-fi'l. Then we have wal-jumlatul fi'liyatu hiya allati sadruha. And then when we talk about the verbal sentence, it is allati whose sadruha beginning is fi'lun tammun. So we know that a verbal sentence always starts with a verb, and the beginning will be either fi'lun tammun, which is basically complete verb. Nahwu talat ash-shamsu. The sun rose. Okay. So why do we say fi'lun tammun? What does it mean? A verb that needs only fa'il. It only needs fa'il. Yes, whereas we have another kind of verb which is called fi'lun naqisun. So fi'lun naqisun means that this verb cannot communicate the meaning by itself. That's why it needs an ismun wa khabarun. It needs a noun and also it needs a khabar as well. So that's why when we say kana al-jawu baridan, so we will say that al-jawu is ismu kana and baridan is khabaru kana, and we know that ismu kana is always marfu and khabaru kana is always mansub. So that's why we call them fi'lun naqisun, because they cannot deliver the meaning by themselves. They need a noun and also they need mubtada, and they also need, or we can say they need ismu kana and they also need khabaru kana as well. Al-af'alu naqisatu hiya kana wa khawatuha, and incomplete verbs, they are kana wa khawatuha. And now we have the explanation over here. Al-fi'lu tamu yahtaju ila fa'ilin. The complete verb needs only fa'il, the doer. Wal-fi'lu naqisu, and the incomplete verb yahtaju ila ismin wa khabarin. So it needs an ismun wa khabarun. So that is the difference between al-fi'lu tamu wa al-fi'lu naqisu. And here we can see al-jumlatu, it has two kinds. Al-jumlatul ismiyatu, it starts with a noun. Allahu ghafurun, as we can see here. So it can start with a noun, ismun sarihun, or it can start with al-masdar al-muawwalu, an tasumu khairul lakum, and also it can start with inna wa akhawatuha, inna allaha ghafurun. So it can start either with a noun, ismun sarihun, or al-masdaru al-muawwalu, and that's the most important thing that we need to know, because these two we have already discussed several times. And similarly, inna wa khawatuha, we know that when a sentence starts with inna, that means it is also a nominal sentence. Then we have verbal sentence. So it can start with a complete verb, for example, tala'ati shamsu, or it can start with incomplete verb, for example, kana al-jawu baridan. So in either case, it will start with a verb. The verb, either it is tam or naqis, that doesn't matter. The most important thing is that it should start with a verb. تمارين في الجملة الاسمية والجملة الفعلية. Now we have exercises for the nominal sentence and the verbal sentence. استخرج, and now you have to extract ما في الدرس, whatever we have in the lesson, من الجمل الاسمية, from the nominal sentences. وعين, and then we have to specify نوع الصدر في كل واحد منها, and then we have to figure out at the beginning of each one of them. نوع الصدر, the kind of beginning, في كل واحدة, from each one of them, منها, from them. So now we have to extract the word, the sentences from the lesson, whose beginning is وعين نوع الصدر في كل, and we have to look for the beginning. What kind of beginning is it? Is it اسم صريح, or is it المصدر المؤول? So we have the answers over here already. الرأي رأيك. So this is اسم صريح. الرأي, where does it come from? This is the masdar of, yes, ra'a yara. Excellent. So we discussed that ra'a has two meanings. One meaning is it means to see something.
See.
To see, excellent. So ra'a yara, royatan wa ru'ya. And then the other meaning is to give the opinion. So ra'a yara wa ra'yun. So ar-ra'yu ra'yuk, the opinion is yours, yani your opinion is the best opinion. So this is ismun sarihun, yani this is the original noun. أن تذهبوا إلى المكتبة خير لكم. So here this is أن تذهبوا إلى المكتبة. This is مصدر مؤول and تقديره ذهابكم. ذهابكم, it is better for you to go to the library. So أن تذهبوا is basically المصدر المؤول, and it is in the place of the, yes please, can you tell me? It is in the place of مبتدا or خبر? Of course, it's in the place of mubtada, because nominal sentence we are talking about al-jumlatul ismiyatu, and it has mubtada and khabar. So of course, normally mubtada comes first and khabar comes after that. So an tadhhabu will be mubtada, muhallan mubtada. Please remember, we will not say that an tadhhabu is mubtada. It is in the place of the mubtada. Ila al-maktabati is jar majroor, khayrun is khabar, and lakum is also jar majroor. Ma hadha, again mubtada khabar. Amrukum fawda, your situation is chaotic. Yes, ismun sarihun, amrun. Can you figure out amrun? Where does it come from? Amara ya'muru.
Amara, yeah.
Yes, excellent. Amara ya'muru, amrun. That is basically masdar of amara ya'muru. Amrukum fawda, your situation is chaotic. كأن الفصل سوق. كأن اسمه إن, sister of, we can say أخوات إن, yes. So كأن الفصل, so we know that كأن will take اسمه كأن and خبر كأن. So here it is حرف مشبه بالفعل. So this is basically حرف مشبه بالفعل. However, we will say that this is مبتدا and this is خبر. إن مدرسكم مريض. Indeed, your teacher is sick. Again, inna by itself comes over here. So حرفا مشبه بالفعل. فبعضهم وقف يخطب. Okay, which one is بعض? بعض, yes. بعض is اسم صريح. بعض, بعض يبعد. This is basically بعض يبعد, and then masdar is بعض. بعضهم, what do you remember about بعضهم? If I told you, I gave you very important information about it.
It is always in the, it expresses the plural is the
Excellent. It is singular when it comes to لفظها مفرد. يعني as a word it is singular. ومعناها jam'un, and its meaning is plural. That's number one. Number two, it is always used as mudaf. So ba'du is mudaf and hum is mudaf ilayh. And this one will be mubtada. Then we have khabar, waqafa yakhtubu. What kind of khabar is this? It's a verbal sentence. Waqafa, what kind of verb is this? Fi'l
Naqis.
Excellent. No, it's not naqis. It is basically, Irfan, it starts with wow. So this is basically mithal.
Misal.
Mithal, excellent.
Misal.
However, if you remember, I don't know if you were in the previous lesson. So basically, qama is included in the category of af'al al-shuru. Af'al al-shuru, yani, they are used to begin. They give us the information that the khabar is about to begin. And for af'al al-shuru, their khabar is always present tense. Their khabar is always present tense. So here, waqafa is basically used in the meaning of qama. So qama yakhtubu, yani they began to deliver a lecture. They started to deliver a lecture. So waqafa is not included. Originally, it is not included in the list of af'al al-shuru. There are 10 of them. It is not included. But however, it gives the meaning of qama. That's why the grammarians or the ulama say that it is also considered as af'al al-shuru, yani it is also considered as a fi'l al-naqis, and that's why the khabar that it has, it is always a present tense, because we know that for kada wa akhawatuha, their khabar will always be a present tense. So this is ismun sarihun basically. Ba'dahum is ismun sarihun. Then we have istakhrij ma fi darsi min al-jumal al-fi'liyati. Now we have to extract the verbal sentences wa'ayyan, and then we have to specify naw al-sadri, the kind of beginning, fi kulli wahidatin minha, from each one of them. So I'm not analyzing the text word by word because we have analyzed it several times. So inshallah, I'm sure that everything is clear about the text. Now we have to look for al-jumlatul fi'liyatu and naw'ul sadri, yani kind of beginning. Ranna al-jarasu, ranna, it is fi'l muda'af. Why? Because it has two root letters that are the same, like jarra, like farra, like ranna, and this is fi'lun tamun. It is a complete verb. Bada'at al-hissatu al-khamisatu, bada'a, also bada'a is fi'lun tamun. It's a complete verb. Marrat ashru daqaika aw aktharu, also this is fi'l tam. Then we have lam wa lam ya'ti al-mudarrisu, ata ya'ti is also fi'lun tamun. Why we say it's fi'lun tamun? Because it does not need ismun wa khabarun. Saima tullabu al-intadara, this is also fi'lun tamun. Saima, it only needs the file. Similarly, ya'ti only needs file. And similarly, marra also needs the file, and bada'at also needs a file. Ranna also needs a file. They only need the doer. They don't need ismun wa khabarun. وَطَفِقُوا يَتَحَرَّكُونَ, and they started to move. This is fi'l naqis. Why it is fi'l naqis? Because it needs ismun. It needs ismun wa khabaran. Okay. What will be the ism of tafiqa? What will be the ism of tafiqa? Hum. As I told you that every verb in Arabic has an inbuilt damir inside it, and that damir will be the fa'il, that damir will be the doer, except for number 1 and number 4. Tafiqa and tafiqat. If we talk about number 1 or number 4, dhahaba and dhahabat, as we know that over there, the damir can be mustatir, it can be hidden. Except for number 1 and number 4, all the verbs, they have a pronoun or a damir inside it, and that will be the doer, that will be the file. If you remember that some grammarians, they say that waw is the file, and we will say that hum is the file because this is easier. So it will be basically hum tafiqu yataharrakuna. And why we have yataharrakuna over here? Because this is khabaru tafiqa. Tafiqa always needs a noun, it needs ismun. So ismun will be hum, and khabar will be yataharrakuna. We know that mubtada and khabar or ismun or khabarun, they are always equal. So hum means they, and for whom we have to use the verb that is plural. يتحركوا يتحركان يتحركون. Also, I will tell you something very easy about these verbs. So you have to run the conjugation. So if you have memorized the conjugation now, so you have to run the conjugation for this part and for this part. This part, we have the conjugation of the past tense. Tafiqa, tafiqa, tafiqu. So this is basically sigha number 3. Similarly, yataharraku, yataharrakani, yataharrakuna. This is also sigha number 3. So if we have form number 1, here we will have form number 1. Here, if we have form number 2, here we will have form number 2. Here, if we have form number 10, here we will also have form number 10. And here if we have form number 14, also here we will have form number 14. So basically, we have to run the conjugation for both of them. دخل المراقب فجأة. The supervisor entered suddenly. So dakhala, it needs only fa'il. So this one is also فعل تام. فلم يحضر اليوم. Also يحضر only needs the doer, which is basically inside it, huwa, and that's why this is also فعل تام. فيمكنكم أمكن يمكن إمكانا. Also يمكن needs only the doer. الذهاب, that's why it is فعل تام. خرجنا خرج يخرج only needs a doer, which is here na is the doer. This is also فعل تام. كانت الساعة. كان وأخواتها. All of them, they are أفعال ناقصة. All of them, they are أفعال ناقصة. Why they are from the category of أفعال ناقصة? Because they need اسم وخبر. اسم وخبر, right? So كانت الساعة. So here basically, as we can see here, الساعة, it will be the اسم كان or كانت, and then after that we will have خبر as well. And we know that the خبر will be منصوب. سنعود بعد صلاة العصر. Also عاد يعود. This is also فعل تام. عاد يعود. I gave you 2 meanings of عاد يعود. Do you remember both of the meanings? One meaning is to return. عاد يعود عودة means to return.
To visit the sick.
And, yes, and the second one is عاد يعود إيادة. That means to to visit the sick. Okay. حول المصادر. Now we have to change the masadr, which are the original nouns. Al-waridata, the following. So masadr, because it's a broken plural, and that's why the sifa that we have is also feminine. حول المصادر الواردة. So now we have to change the following original nouns. في الجمل الآتية, in the following sentences. إلى to مصادر مؤولة. To the interpreted masdar. Why here I have put fatha and not kasra? Masadir. It is mamnu min as-sarf. Why it is mamnu min as-sarf? It is on the pattern of mafa'ilu. So mafa'ilu, even if we have harf jar before it, it will not take kasra, it will only take fatha. So here we will say that this is mahallan majroor. Masadir is mahallan majroor, but the sifa, we can see over here that the sifa is majroor because this is majroor by itself. Mu'awwalatin. So we will say that both of them are majroor. This is majroor by itself, and this is mahallan majroor because it is mamnu min as-sarf. Why we have mu'awwilatin? Why we have the feminine over here? Because masadiru is the broken plural of, it's the plural of masdaru, yeah? So masdar is singular and the broken plural will be treated as singular feminine. Baqa'uka huna fil utlati ahsanu lak. If you stay over there during the vacation is good for you. Or you are staying over there. In fact, here, you're staying here during the vacation is good for you. Little bit difficult. An tabqa. An tabqa. An tabqa huna. If you stay there. So now baqa is the real masdar. Baqiya yabqa baqa'un. Baqa'un is the real masdar. And an tabqa will be al masdaru al muawwalu, the interpreted masdar. An tabqa huna fil utlati ahsanu lak. To stay here during the vacation is good for you. So baqauka will be translated as staying with ing. Why with ing? Because it's a noun. So the noun will be translated with ing, staying. So we will say staying. And when we say an tabqa, then it will be to stay. Why to stay? Because it is a verb. But both of them have the same meaning. Both of them are in the place of mubtada. Sakanuna fil mahjai afdalu lana. Our staying in the hostel is the best for us. Naskuna, excellent. Naskuna fil, so here, naskuna fil mahjai afdalu lana. To stay in the hostel will be the best for us. قال مدرس الخط, the teacher of the handwriting said, كتابتكم نصف صفحة. Your writing, kitaba, as we know that kitaba is the masdar of kataba yaktubu. So kitabatun basically is writing. Kitabatu is mubtada and kum is khabar. So kitabatukum, your writing, nisfa safhatin, only half a page, bikhattin jamilin, in beautiful handwriting. Ahabbu is dear, ilayya to me, min kitabatikum, from your writing, safhatin, many pages, bikhattin radiyin, in poor writing. Kitabatukum nisfa safhatin bikhattin jamilin. Your writing of half a page in beautiful handwriting is dearer to me than writing many pages in poor writing. Okay, now nisfa safhatin. Why nisfa is mansub? Because you need to know now that
your writing.
Okay, but why is mansub? If a noun is mansub, it has to have a reason to be mansub, and it cannot be mansub for no reason. There has to be an amil before it. Where is the amil before it? Masdar. Masdar la kitaba. Kitaba is a masdar. Masdar is also, it has amilu failin. It also does the job of the verb as well. So now remember that we have seen in the past that ismul fa'il can do the job of, can be amil. Similarly, masdar can also be an amil. Dhikru rahmati rabbika abdahu Zakariya. Dhikru rahmati rabbika abdahu is mansub because of dhikru, because dhikru is masdar, and also it gives the noun that comes after this, it will make it mudaf ilayh because it is used as mudaf. So the noun that comes immediately after this will be mudaf ilayh, and then the noun that follows it will be mansub because of its amal. So kitaba is doing the amal on nisfa as well. So now it has two, it has like amalain. The first one, it is used as mudaf because for kum it is mudaf, right? So kitabatu, that's why it is kitabatu. So kitabatu is mudaf and kum is mudaf ilayh. And similarly nisfa, we will see this is maf'ul bihi for kitaba. Maf'ul bihi for kitaba. Okay, so now we have to go to the original. So you have to give me al-masdaru al-mu'awwalu. You to write, yani if you write, if all of you write, an taktubu, yes, now excellent. An taktubu, we cannot say una because an, after an the noon will be dropped. So that's why it will be an taktubu. An taktubu, if you write, now here it will be easy for you to figure out why it is nisfu safhatin. An taktubu. So fail plus file, and nisfa safhatin will be maf'ul bihi. Now, did you get the idea why it is mansub? Here, after the verb, it is easy to figure out. After the verb, it is very easy to figure out because we know that it is basically antum taktubu. So antum will be fail, taktubu will be file, and nisfa safhatin will be maf'ul bihi. So here it is easier, but after the masdar, now inshallah you are exploring more and you are getting deeper into that. So this will help us to understand the text of the Quran, that we will see that a noun is mansub. So for a noun to be mansub or marfu or majroor, there has to be a reason. So now we know that here it is mansub because of taktubu, and also we can say it is mansub because of kitabatun, because kitaba is masdar and masdar is an amil. Please remember that. Ma taqdiru. Ma taqdiru. What will be the ending of al-masdar al-muawwal? Please tell me quickly.
مصدر تقدير مصدر مؤولي.
Ahsanti, yes. Taqdiru is mudaf. Why? Because it is light. It doesn't have al. It doesn't have tanween. So this is mudaf, and al-masdari al-muawwali is mudaf alayh. So what is the hidden meaning of the interpreted masdar? Fi qawlihi ta'ala. في سورة البقرة in Surah Al-Baqarah. So what is the masdar al-muawwal in this ayah of the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah? وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. And to forgo and to forgive. Yes.
Afwan.
Okay, here afa yafu masdaruhu afwan. So masdar is given to you over here. Now it should be easier for you.
وأن تعفو should be masdar muawwal.
This is masdar muawwal. We have to replace it with masdar as-sarih.
Afwan. وعفوا.
Yani you are forgiving. You are forgiving.
أفوك.
You are for the plural.
أفوكم.
Ahsantun. Afukum. Excellent. Afukum. Okay. Afukum aqrabu littaqwa. And to forgo or to forgive, it is nearer to righteousness. So here, if you can see here, it is translated here to forgo. Why? Or to forgive. Why it is translated with to? Because here it is not used as the real masdar. It is not masdar sarih. It is used as al-masdaru al-muawwalu. So that's why when you look at the translation now, mashallah, the translators are very daqiq and they look into each and everything. So if it were like afukum, and this is min ghayr al-Quran, so it would be you are forgiving. It would be you are forgiving. It is nearer to righteousness. But if it is wa'an ta'fu, then it will be and to forgive or and to forgo, it is nearer to righteousness. Hati thalathat amthilatin. Now you have to give 3 examples. Lil jumlat al-ismiyati, for nominal sentence. Sadruha, its beginning is ahrufun mushabbahatun bil fi'li. Its beginning is al-huruf al-mushabbah bil fi'l. From the lesson, if it's possible. Inna Allaha Ghafurur Rahim. Okay, excellent. Then we had Ka'anna al-Fasla Suqun and La'alla Bilalan Yazurani. I think this one is this is not in the lesson. This might be in the exercises as well. So La'alla Bilalan Yazurani al-Yawma. Maybe there is a possibility that Bilal will visit me today, or I hope that Bilal will visit me today. Then you have to give hati thalathata amthilatin lil jumlat al fi'liyati sadruha af'alun tammatun. Now we have to give 3 examples whose beginning is of the verbal sentence whose beginning is the complete verb. Af'alun tammatun. Af'alun, because this is the plural of fi'lun. Af'alun, that's why the sifa is singular feminine. The rest of the text is easier. What if this is for, what if it is for singular feminine? This is for singular masculine, right? Hati yani anta hati. What if it is singular feminine? Anti, if we have anti, it will be hati, noon will be dropped. Noon will be dropped. Fi'l al-amr, the noon gets dropped. Hati, excellent. What if I say to all of you, antum yani? Hatu, right? Hatu thalathata amsilatin. So if I'm talking to all of you, so of course the book is written in the context like the learner is a singular person. So that's why it is hati hati. And you know that the importance is given to the masculine noun because we know in Arabic, like it's given importance only when it comes to the language. And if it is for the feminine, it will be hati. And if it is for all of you, it will be hatu. So we have here jalasati talibatu the student said, Ran al Jarasu, the bell rang, Saimat Tulabu Intidara, and the students were bored of the waiting. So Jalasa and Ranna and Saima, all of them are Afalan Tammatun. Then we have to give 3 examples. Hati thalathata jumlin fi'liyatin. So now we have to give 3 verbal sentences. Sadruha, whose beginning is af'alun naqisatun, the incomplete verbs. Ha refers to jumalin. Thalathatu jumalin. Kana al-jawu haran, the weather was hot. Laysa al-qalamu maksuran, the pen is not broken. Tafiq al-tullabu yaktubuna, the students started to write, or the students started writing. So this one is kana, as we know, kana wa akhawatuha, all of them are naqis. And laysa is from akhawatu kana, and tafiqa is from the sisters of kada, or af'al al-shuru', as we discussed in the beginning, af'al al-shuru'. Tamarinu ammatun, now we have general exercises. Tafiqa yaf'alu kada, he started doing so and so. Kada means so. So he started doing so. Ja'ala yaf'alu kada, he started doing so. Akhada yaf'alu kada, he started doing so. Okay, so now you can see here that tafiqa wa ja'ala wa akhada, all of them, they give the meaning of to start, or he started. So when you start doing some activity, so all of them are used in the meaning of bada'a. If you remember, they are all used in the meaning of bada'a. But they have, if you look at them as verbs by themselves, for example, ja'ala is used in different meanings. It means to make, right? Ja'ala means to make. Akhadha means to take. But when they are used in the context of af'al al-shuru', then they will be considered as al-af'al al-naqisa, and that's why they will need ismun wa khabarun, and also they will be considered as af'al al-naqisa. They will be considered also af'al al-naqisa. A meaning, or that is shara'a bifi'lihi, yani he started doing it. As I said, shara'a yashra'u. Shara'a is also from af'al al-shuru', and this is also fi'lun naqisun. هذه الأفعال الثلاثة تعمل عمل كان. So these 3 verbs, they do the job of kana. إلا, except أن خبرها, that their خبر is يجب أن يكون جملة فعلية. It is necessary that their خبر has to be a verbal sentence, and it has to be فعلها مضارع. It has to be فعل مضارع. So as we discussed in the beginning, that they are from the sisters of kana, but they also need ismun wa khabarun, but their khabarun has to be always fi'lun mudari'un. It has to be the present tense all the time. What is the difference between kana and these verbs then? I explained in the previous lesson, if you remember. What is the difference?
Kana does not need a verbal sentence for its khabar.
Kana can have past
Both
tense,
a noun
it can
or
have past tense, it can have present tense, and also it can have a noun as khabar. Whereas these kada wa akhawatuha, they always need khabar as a present tense, fi'lun mudari'un. They always need as a present tense. So that is the difference between kana and kada wa akhawatuha. Excellent. Adkhil, now you have to enter kulla, each fi'lin, verb. So we will not say enter, we will say use. Adkhil kulla fi'lin, use every verb. Min hadhihi al-af'ali, from these verbs. Fi jumlatin mufidatin. So now we have to use all of these verbs in a suitable sentence. For example, tafiqa. So tafiqa rajulu yusalli. Please translate it.
the man was
The
just
man
started.
started praying.
The man started praying. Excellent. Started is past tense. Okay. Jala tiflu yadhak.
The child
The child
started crying.
laughing.
Laughing.
Yeah, normally they're crying all the time, but we can assume that they can laugh sometimes as well. So جعل الطفل يضحك يضحك, the boy or the child started laughing. أخذ الطالب يقرأ.
The boy started reading.
The student
Students.
started reading. The student started reading. Excellent. So now we can see here, because tafiqa, jala, and akhada, yes, because they are used as afal naqisa, and they all give the meaning of started. They give the meaning of bada. Hati mudariya. Now you have to give the present tense. Hati mudariya al-afal al-atiyati. So now we have to give the present tense of the verbs that we have over here. Taharraka, yataharraku. Taharraka, which
يتحرك.
form is this?
تفاعل.
Please count the root letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 root letter means it is verb from number 5. Very simple to remember. So it has 5. It doesn't have, in fact, it doesn't have 5 root letters. In fact, it has 3 root letters, but when we count them as a combination, yeah, because it is mazid fi. So basically the root letters are ha, ra, and ka, and then harraka, because it is, as you can see here, it is mudaf, so that's why it has tashdid. And when we add ta to it, it becomes a verb from number 5. Taharraka yataharraku, to move. Abitha ya'bathu, to do something aimlessly. Abitha ya'bathu, please remember that it can come also as Abatha ya'bathu. It can come from bab fataha yaftahu, and also it can come from bab sami'a yasma'u. Sa'ima yas'amu, that means to be bored. To be bored. Again, please remember that this is also like ba'a. This is also a passive verb. However, it needs a doer, but it is also a passive verb. It is translated as to be bored. Yuqalu, it is said, Sa'ima shay'a, that he was bored of doing something, or he was bored of something. Wa minhu, and from it. وفي التنزيل, and in the Quran, لا يسأم الإنسان من دعاء الخير. Man never tires of asking for good. So this is Surah Fussilat, verse number 49. So لا يسأم, as we know that this is the present tense, الإنسان من دعاء الخير. So man is never tired of asking for good. Then
So,
we
so
have,
these
yes, please.
these verbs جعل أخذ as أفعال الشروع, are they used in Quran as well
Only tafiqa.
in this pattern?
Tafiqa.
Okay.
It's used in twice. It's used twice in Surah Taha, and also I think Surah Araf. I'm not sure about that. About Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam. It's used about them, like when they're. We discussed the example at the beginning of the lesson, and I think inshallah we will have it in the end of the lesson as well. So there is one example. There is only one instance of this being used in the Quran. However, they are used in like regular Arabic. They are used a lot. Now we have, as usual, some examples from the Quran. So here in the beginning, we have the examples of al-masdaru al-mu'awwalu. So we will only look at the examples. So قُلْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَادِرٌ عَلَىٰ أَن يُنَزِّلَ آيَةً أَن يُنَزِّلَ آيَةً. So أَن يُنَزِّلَ here, as we can see here, تقديره على التنزيل. So if you want to see what's the taqdeer, like how it is used, the meaning, if you remember in the beginning we discussed that if we want to see, then we have to change it into the real masdar, and then we will be able to see. So here, is it used as marfu, mansub, or majroor? It is mahallan majroor.
Mansub.
Majroor,
Majroor.
because after ala, yeah?
Ala.
Yeah, so it is mahallan majroor. Then we have يريد الله أن يخفف عنكم. So يخفف أن يخفف. So here it is
Mansub.
not mansub, it is marfu.
Well,
Why? Because
Yuridu
yuridu is fail, Allahu ismul jalala is the fa'il. So this is one part of the sentence, and the second part of the sentence we can say it starts from Allahu, which will be mubtada, and an yukhaffifa will be khabar. And we know that khabar is always marfu, so that's why taqdiruhu at-takhfifu, khaffafa yukhaffifu takhfifan. So yuridullahu at-takhfifu ankum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make it lighter on you. So that's why we need to learn a lot about al-masdar al-mu'awwal, because it is used a lot in the Quran. So the two things that we need to know: number one, it is mahallan marfu or mansub or majroor. It is mahallan marfu or mansub or majroor. Number 2, it will be singular, it will not be plural. Wallahu yuridu an yatuba alaykum. Okay, now here
Now it's mansub.
mansub. Why it's
Yuridu.
mansub? Because it has come after yuridu. Ahsantum. Yeah, that's right. So that's why these small details, if we focus on them, then inshallah it will be easier for us. And then we can see here, Wallahu yuridu at-tawbata alaykum. Allah wants to forgive you. So again here, this is just taqdiruhu, yani the hidden meaning is, so this is always, I need to clarify myself all the time that this is only for the sake of grammatical analysis, and this is not inharaf or tahrif in the Quran. May Allah forgive us, even we cannot think about it. It is only for the sake of learning. Then we have some examples of af'al shuru, and the most common is kada. Kada is not fail shuru. You remember, it is fail. It's not fail shuru. It is like the fail of nearness. If you remember, it is fail of nearness, like something is about to happen. So min ba'di ma kada yazighu qulubu fariqim minhum. So as you can see here after kada, so ismu kada will be huwa inbuilt inside it. Kada will be the verb, and then this will be ismu kada, and yazighu will be khabaru kada. Khabaru kada. Then we have fadhabahuha wa ma kadu yaf'alun, and they were not about to do it, they were not going to do it. Again here, hum yani, hum will be ismu kada, and yaf'aluna will be khabaru kada. Now if you remember, I told you that you have to run the conjugation. So here if you run the conjugation of kada, it will be kada, kada, kadu, and here it will be yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna. So here it is the past tense, and here it is the present tense. However, we can have present tense in both cases. It's also possible. In the next example, if you see here, takadu tamayyazu min al-ghayz. So as you can see here, it is the present tense over here. So whether it is present tense or the past tense, the only thing that we have to care about is that khabaru kada has to be always present tense. Always present tense. Asa rabbuna, asa, if you remember, this is also from akhawatu kada. And this is called fail raja. Okay, so now I remember kada is called fail al-muqarabah, and this is called fail raja, that is the fail of hope, and kada is called fail al-muqarabah. Asa rabbuna an yubdilana khayran minha inna ila rabbina raghibun. So here an yubdilana. So what do you remember about asa? Asa always has ismun.
Hoping.
So Rabbuna is ismun, but khabaru asa will be present tense, but it will always come with an. It will always come with an. So these are very small details. If you focus on these details, if you write them down, inshallah, it will be so easy for you, and you will find it so relevant when you are learning the Quran, that it will help you a lot. That asa, whenever it is used in the Quran, after that there will be ismu asa, which is always marfu, and khabaru asa will be always, it will always come with an. It will always be al masdaru al muawwalu. Whereas it is present tense as well, but this is masdar al muawwal. Whereas for kada and af'al shuru, the khabar will be present tense, but it will be the fi'l al mudari'un, the real fi'l al mudari'un. But when we talk about asa, then it is fi'l al mudari', but we will not say it is fi'l al mudari' now. Now we will say that this is al masdaru al muawwalu. So we will say that khabaru asa will be al masdaru al muawwalu. Always it will be al masdaru al muawwalu. Whereas khabaru kada, and similarly khabaru, the rest of the sisters of kada wa akhawatuha, which is like af'al shuru, the khabar will be always present tense. It will always be present tense. So this information, please note it down. It's very, very important. We are almost done with the lesson. We will just go through quickly from the vocabulary. Most of it we already know. Intidarun, waiting, which is intadara yantadiru intidaran, waiting. Makanun, it has two plurals. Amkinatun wa amakinu. Amakinu is mamnu min as-sarf. Faj'atan, suddenly, and we know that this is dharf. Why? Because even from English we can see that it gives the meaning of dharf, like adverb. Fawda, without tanween, confusion or chaos. Mabnan. So when we read it as one building, we want to say, we will say mabna, and the plural is mabanin. And when you want to say the building of the school, so then we know that this is standing fatha, but when we connect it, then it will change into regular fatha. So we will say mabnal madrasati, mabnal madrasati. Then we have utlatun, used for the holiday, mahadun, and the plural is ma'ahidu, and we know because it's dharf, and that's why the plural will be always on the pattern of mafailu, mamnu min as-sarf. Khattun has two meanings. It means line, and it also means calligraphy, and also means handwriting. So these are basically two the same, and line is different. Jumlatun, sentence, and the plural is jumalun. Jawun, weather. We have discussed about this many times. Then we have taqwa, which means piety or God consciousness, fear. Sama shay'a aw min ash-shay', yes, means sa'amatan, which means to be bored. Baqiya yabqa baqa'an, so this is al-masdar al-sarih, and an yabqa will be masdar al-mu'awwal, to remain. Then we have sakana yaskunu sakanan, to stay. Afa'an fulanin yafu afwan, so afa yafu, and it comes with the preposition of an, to forgive someone. Ada ya'udu iyadatan, so here it is used in the context of to visit the sick. If it is ada ya'udu audatan, then it means to return, to return. Khataba yakhtubu khatabatan wa khutbatan, to address a gathering. Marra yamurru mururan, marra bi fulanin, to pass by someone. Then abitha ya'bathu abathan, as I told you that it can be abitha ya'bathu, and it can also be abatha ya'bathu abathan, to fool around, jest, fuss, to be engaged in useless activity. Hawala yuhawilu tahwilan, to transform. What kind of verb is this? Verb form number?
كرم.
Sabbaha yusabbihu, number 2, yes. Hawala yuhawilu tahwilan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.